Hey, I'm on the tread. I've been finding out a lot. I look like a peacock. I've been finding out a lot about my family's history on my father's side of the family. It's heavy. It is very heavy. Heavy. I feel like a lot of them have been carrying and passing down heavy trauma. And you know, I look at it from afar without getting into the details. I look at it like if I zoom out, I look at it from afar. And I just have compassion. I have compassion. It's like no one, not in a victim way or anything like that, just in a spiritual way. I have a compassion. Like, it's like no one, like all these people for these generations, these family members have gone through a lot of shit or have been passed down a lot of shit, and then they themselves went through more. And almost no one said, what the fuck is this? They just accepted it. Some became it. Some wouldn't. Others, I would say, didn't become it, but they choose to live in the middle, which is what I call the suffering. So you, like, they feel it. They're suffering, but they're not choosing the change. Whether it's that they are afraid to change or they're unaware that change can happen and is safe, because sometimes, even though something can be very, very toxic, if you've been in it for a long time, there's an illusion of safety. But it's not safety, it's just familiarity. So I don't know. I can't speak for that. But there's a compassion. But there's also I don't know if the word is more clarity or if just it's fuel. In my eyes, clarity in the sense of now I understand why things happen the way they did. Not that it justifies it, it's fucked up. But it brings clarity and understanding, right? Okay, boom. You start connecting dots, questions get answered. Well, that's why. Clarity came, and then there's also adding to my fuel. This was one of the reasons why in my late teens, early 20s, decided I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And I ventured away from the family through circumstances and how they transpired, but either way, I did not fight to stay in the family system. I chose another path, for better or for worse. And there's a quote that comes to my mind when I think of them now. And that quote is a quote that I see happening a lot, not just in my dad's side of the family, but with a lot of people. It's by one of my favorite people, Carl Jung, of course, the Carl Jung. And it's what they did. It's what most of them did, is people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Because no one looked up and just said, wow, this is fucked up. Let me really look at this, and choose different. People will do anything, no matter how absurd. And that's pretty absurd. All that trauma that they were carrying, all that torment, absurd. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And the second part of that quote is the one on my back. So, one does not achieve enlightenment by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. There's many names for that process. You could call it shadow work. You could, but it's basically also just, instead of living on autopilot with all this shit that's been passed down to you, question yourself. Question the behaviors of yourself and others, and see why you do the things you do, and gain an understanding of yourself, and have an open mind to change it if it's not going in the direction that's best for you, regardless of what anyone else is saying. Question why your triggers are the way they are. What is it telling you? Question everything. Take a look at yourself. Not with judgment, with curiosity. Take a look at yourself. Why? Why are these moving parts the way they are? And you'll see a lot of that has to do with shit you went through, or shit your family went through, or everything has a root, is what I'm trying to say. And why not take the route of gaining clarity and understanding of yourself and choosing differently? How could anyone really heal and move forward and overcome, or all these other great terms people like to throw around online? How is that even a reality without first looking at what's causing the problem? It's not possible. It's a fake, it's an imagining figures of light. It's a fake, we're over it thing, or it is past. And it's, that's another thing, bypassing. I would put that in the category of imagining figures of light. All that shit that people think that if we sweep it under the rug, or we don't talk about it anymore, or because it hasn't been spoke about, it's fine, or anything except actually facing it. Anything except actually touching the root of the problem in the first place with compassion and understanding and non-judgment and acceptance. With love. Not the fake kind, again, bypassing and no. Really seeing the issue, feeling it in its fullness, and then accepting it and having an understanding and compassion. And then choosing differently. Consciously and intentionally choosing differently. Not to mention, some of the best parts of ourselves are hiding in that pile that a lot of people avoid. Some of the best parts that couldn't come out earlier on in life because of the unsafety of the circumstances is hidden in there that you can now take out now and live enjoying it and being your full self that you couldn't be before because it wasn't safe. So your body hid it in your subconscious. It hid it in there. But yeah, I see it as fuel. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. We can't be whole until we also love the shadow of ourselves. And the shadow only gets denser and darker the more we deny it, the more we suppress it. It gets bigger because it will not be ignored. It cannot be ignored. It's part of you. It's part of us. It's part of ourselves. We can't become whole without embracing both sides of ourselves that make us whole, that balance us. We can't also change anything that we refuse to acknowledge, admit, or accept. It's just making the darkness conscious. And I know that shit ends with me. That I do know. That I can speak on.